Elena, tell me where you are. Your voice. It's echoing strangely. Not like it does in the office.
Huh? What do you want, Richard? I'm at home working, obviously. Where else would I be? I did make it clear that you weren't to message me while I'm at work, didn't I? Would you stop this? You're disrupting my concentration. I have a deadline looming overhead.
You told me remote work wasn't possible in your line of work.
Huh? Richard, this is not the first time we've had this conversation. I'm swamped with reports, and the Wi-Fi is acting up. Can we please talk about this later?
You said it wasn't possible to work from home due to the nature of the work you do. I remember it clearly. You were so adamant that it was strictly against company policy.
Where is all of this coming from all of a sudden? Richard, you're starting to worry me. Is everything all right at your end?
You still don't get it, do you? I know everything, Elena. I'm fully aware you're in our bedroom getting it on with a guy called Chad right now, huh? The silence on your end is deafening.
Huh? Chad? Who's Chad? Richard, you're not making any sense. You know I'm allergic to most colognes. I couldn't stand being in the same room as someone else, let alone…
I wanted to catch you red-handed, so I hatched a little plan. I called both of our parents. Now all 5 of us are outside. And we're about to charge in. We'll see who's telling the truth.
What? No, don't do it. You'll interrupt my work. Ugh, and you've involved our parents? Richard, this is madness. You need to calm down and think this through. There's no one here but me and my spreadsheets.
I just handed in the divorce papers. It won't be long now. Once the divorce is finalized, I'll be taking full custody of Nancy. This chat will remain in place as a place for us to discuss things relating to our daughter. But that's it. I'll be renaming it Nancy's Parents. And we'll be using it instead of blocking each other. Given that I'm her guardian now, you need to respect her will. So do not, under any circumstance, attempt to contact her unless she gives you permission. And that goes for social media too. Don't even think about trying to reach out to her there.
I'm pleased we're finally getting this over with. This has been a long time coming. But I'm still Nancy's mother, you know. Why do I have to accept you taking her away from me? I gave birth to her. This isn't fair. Don't you understand what this is doing to me?
She's still traumatized over what you did, Elena. You know that she hates you. If you genuinely love her and genuinely care about her feelings, you need to keep your distance until she says otherwise. This isn't about punishment. It's about protecting her.
Oh my God, my parents disowned me. Chad broke up with me. I have nothing now, nothing. And nobody in the world who cares about me. What am I supposed to do?
That's not my problem anymore, Elena. Maybe you can use this alone time as an opportunity to reflect on how things ended up like this. Goodbye, and don't make me repeat myself.
Hey, Dad. Are you already on the train home now? Thanks so much for helping me move today. I couldn't have done it without your muscles and that amazing back of yours. Seriously, how do you manage to lift all those boxes without breaking a sweat?
Don't mention it, Nancy. Just happy to help my favorite daughter get settled.
I mean, I will be moving again at the end of May, but I suppose I may as well make the most of my time here in this tiny shoebox apartment.
Right. We regret to inform you we were unable to provide you with a room that meets your wishes during your desired time frame. That's what the real estate guy said, right? I can't believe they mistyped your search criteria. I thought they had systems in place to prevent that kind of thing. Did they say they'd have something available for you at the end of May?
I know, right? I couldn't believe it either. Yeah, they did. It meets all my criteria, dream location and everything. But the move-in date was way off, so now I've got to wait 3 whole months. 3 months stuck in this shoebox. They really dropped the ball on this one. I feel so lucky Carla's letting me use her apartment. I know, I've already thanked her about 1,000,000 times. But can you tell her how grateful I am again?
She's a real lifesaver, huh? Don't worry about it. I'll let her know. You focus on unpacking and making this little place feel like home, even if it's temporary.
Thanks, Dad. You're the best. And speaking of amazing women, how did you manage to snag yourself such an amazing woman like Carla? Seriously, she's like a superhero. Makes the best pasta I've ever had, can fix anything that's broken, and tolerates all my crazy roommate habits. Pops, when are you guys gonna tie the knot? You deserve to be happy, you know.
Thanks, honey. That's sweet of you to say. I'm not sure. Maybe a little longer. I don't want to rush things. Besides, we only just set up our company, Long Run Design, and we're busier than we thought humanly possible. The dream, of course, is to have a branch in every state on the East Coast. Big dreams, right?
Wow, you're reaching for the sky, huh? That's my Pops. Always aiming high.
I have this surreal feeling of time passing faster than usual lately. I can't believe how much our lives have changed over the last few years. I can't believe you're living on your own as a student in New York now. It seems like only 5 minutes ago you were that mischievous little girl pulling those devilish pranks on me. Not only are you a whole plane journey's distance from our hometown, but this is your first time living totally on your own. I want you to know that you can talk to me whenever you want about anything.
I know, Dad. That means a lot. Thanks. Dad, are you there? Please pick up.
Nancy? What's wrong? How come you're messaging me at this hour? Your texts are coming in a flurry. It's not like you to panic.
Dad, help! I don't know what to do. My hands are shaking and I can barely type.
What's wrong? Talk to me, Nancy. Your sudden distress is alarming.
Mom's coming.
What?
Please, this is bad. Listen, I was supposed to be staying at my new friend's house tonight. We get on like a house on fire and she invited me over yesterday. But she got a sudden phone call saying her grandma in New Jersey died today. So she had to go back to be with her family immediately. Obviously the sleepover is cancelled, but she was kind enough to drive me back to my apartment before she headed to the airport.
That's unexpected. But why are you so worked up about your mom coming over?
Just as we were pulling up and I was getting ready to get out of the car, I spotted some middle-aged woman standing outside the front entrance, ringing my doorbell over and over again. That woman was Mom. And the worst part? She wasn't alone. She had this look in her eyes, Dad, like she was hunting for something or someone.
Well, what happened next? Did you speak to her? Did she see you?
No, not a chance. Even just the thought of her after everything makes me feel like I'm going to throw up. I asked my friend to take me to the nearby internet cafe by the station instead. And that's where I am now. The flickering fluorescent lights feels like the only safe haven in the whole city. It's like I'm hiding out in a bunker, waiting for the all-clear signal.
Call the police. Now! This is serious, Nancy.
I'm holding off for now. Don't get me wrong. I will if I have to. But that's more of a worst-case scenario type of thing. I'm trying to avoid a full-blown family crisis.
Why? I hope you're not holding back just because she's your mother. Safety comes first, Nancy.
It's not that. It's the guy she was with. There's so much more to this, Dad. It's like a bad dream I can't wake up from.
What? She was with a guy? Nancy, you need to start from the beginning. Who is he?
How to put this? He looked like trouble with a capital T. Like the kind of guy you see hanging around back alleys. The kind with a scowl permanently etched on his face and glint in his eyes that promise nothing good. I know you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. But the fact that he was with someone like Mom, the way he was dressed head to toe in black with a leather jacket that looked like it had seen better days, and the big, jagged scar that ran from his temple down to his jawline, just screamed danger. I just had to get out of there. You know what else terrifies me? I never even told her my new address. It was supposed to be a fresh start, a place where the past couldn't touch me. And yet there she is with some creepy guy on my doorstep in the middle of the night before I've even lived there a month. I did think about calling the police, but the thought of them showing up and causing a scene, maybe even getting violent, I was worried about what might happen to me afterwards if they got told off and found out I called the cops on them. They might hurt me, or worse, they might come after you.
Alright, calm down, sweetheart. I understand everything's gonna be okay. I want you to know that. Can you wait a little longer at the internet cafe for me? There's an all-night diner a few blocks down from there, right? See if they have a back booth and stay put. Nancy, you're not to go back to your apartment until I say so, okay? This changes everything. Sit tight, sweetie. I'll handle this. I promise. I'm already on my way.
Got it. I'll sit tight. Thanks, Dad. I'm just so scared. Feels like the walls are closing in on me.
Hey, Elena! What the heck do you think you're doing? Are you still lurking outside my friend's apartment? It's late, and this is starting to feel like some creepy stalker movie.
Huh? Oh, Richard, your friend's apartment. I didn't have the slightest clue what you were talking about. Nancy's staying in room 202, isn't she? It's my daughter's room. My daughter who bravely came to live in New York on her own. To start fresh and make an escape, a certain troubled past that's been haunting her.
Wrong. That's my fiancé's room. And I'm starting to think there's been a huge misunderstanding here.
What? Your fiancé? I didn't realize. I thought...
We've been dating for the last 3 years. She spends 6 months of every year on business in New York. She's a key player in her company and is expected to attend a lot of high-stakes meetings. She figured it would be more economical to get an apartment than pay for a hotel every time. So she rents it as a kind of second home for whenever she's over there on business.
Huh? But that doesn't add up. I was sure.
I got a panicked message from Nancy in the middle of the night saying she couldn't go home because there was a strange woman outside her apartment, calling her name and ringing the doorbell nonstop. A woman who looked suspiciously like a certain someone I used to know. Someone who shouldn't be here.
Huh? Wait, that doesn't make sense. I saw Nancy coming in here before. You can't fool me. I know my daughter, and I know when something's off.
That's because Nancy and my fiancé know each other. They're so close. They're basically family. Do you not think it's more likely that she just has a spare key to the place? That she's here because she trusts my fiancé?
Wait, what? Are you being serious right now? This is a lot to take in.
When I heard you'd shown up out of the blue, I told her to get away and stay away until we could be sure you'd left. For her safety, you understand?
What? Why? I need to see my daughter. Do you have any idea how difficult this makes things for me? How am I supposed to...
Why does it? Why does seeing Nancy suddenly become so important to you now?
Because Nancy is supposed to be looking after me from now on. She's my daughter, and I need her.
Excuse me? Looking after you? Nancy is not responsible for you. She's making her own way in the world, and she doesn't need this kind of pressure. Not now, not ever.
The reason she came back to work and live on her own in New York because she knew that I was here, right? She's so sweet and thoughtful. I thought it was only natural we'd live together in that case. I mean, it doesn't make sense to rent 2 apartments since we're so close by, does it?
What kind of mental gymnastics did you have to pull to reach that conclusion? It would be impressive if it wasn't so disturbing. Besides, Nancy isn't even working yet. She's still a full-time student, juggling a mountain of classes and trying to get acclimated to the chaos of living in a big city like New York. The last thing she needs is you showing up on her doorstep, expecting her to be your personal maid or worse, your financial support system.
Huh? She isn't? But I saw an ad online for an assistant position at a big-time fashion firm. I just assumed...
You assumed wrong again. But seriously, even if she did go to New York to find work, do you actually think she'd want anything to do with you after what you did to us? You betrayed your family, Elena. You jeopardized our security, our happiness, all for a fling with some low-life gambler. Do you have any idea what that did to Nancy? She was a little girl, and you ripped the rug out from under her entire world.
Oh my God, Richard, I made a mistake. A terrible mistake. but I never meant to hurt anyone, especially not Nancy.
There are no excuses, Elena. You made your choices, and now you have to live with the consequences. I take it you've snapped out of your delusions. Now hurry up and get as far away from that apartment as possible. I swear, if you take one more step towards that building, I'm calling the cops right now. They'll be happy to reunite you with your friend Chad down at the station.
Come on, Richard. That's a bit overly dramatic, don't you think? Besides, I'm already inside. The door was unlocked, I swear. I just assumed Nancy must have forgotten to lock it in the rush of moving in.
What? Did you break into my fiancé's freaking apartment?
What was I supposed to do? It was cold outside. I didn't think there'd be a problem with me moving in. What with my daughter living here and all? We're family, aren't we?
Moving in? Are you insane? Wait, wasn't the door locked?
Well,
No way! Let me guess. You had that slimeball Chad teach you how to pick locks, didn't you? I know all about his criminal record and his ties to the mafia he has previously. For breaking and entering, doesn't he? Am I right? I'm right, aren't I?
well,
The landlord told us there are several surveillance cameras set up around the apartment block. And the front door is visible on more than a few of them. You can lie as much as you like, Helena. But you'll never get away with this. If you did break in, you're on camera. There's no escaping that.
seriously?
I have no choice but to call the police. They'd be thrilled to have a chat with you about your little improvised family reunion.
No, wait. Just please wait. Let's not do anything drastic here. Let's be reasonable adults. I only did it because I thought it was Nancy's room. Anyway, all I did was come to visit my daughter. What's wrong with that? Visiting your daughter isn't a crime. I don't mean any harm. I just want to see my daughter again.
I have a sneaking suspicion it is a crime. If it involves picking a lock and breaking into someone's apartment. And you don't get a get-out-of-jail-free card just because you didn't think something was against the law.
But Richard, don't you see? I had no other choice. Tyrone and I, we just sold his apartment because we thought we could be a family again with Nancy. We were so naive.
Blatant criminal activity aside, the real problem here. Nancy still hasn't permitted you to meet her, has she?
Huh?
I've taken a neutral stance and always been willing to respect her will. Since the beginning. I thought maybe she might be ready to meet you one day, but far from it. She says she hates you and never wants to see you again. That means you need to go away and stay away forever. Stop upsetting her. You poisonous woman. You've already done enough damage.
But I'm her mother. She's my daughter.
You lost any right to call yourself a mother when you betrayed us. When you choose to follow your base desires over your family. You'll never meet her as long as she doesn't want to meet you. Got it?
Oh my God, what are we supposed to do now?
We?
My boyfriend. We just sold his apartment because we thought we'd be living with Nancy. From now on, we have nowhere else to go.
You did what?
My boyfriend Tyrone. He may have struggled to hold down a job in the past, but he stopped selling crack recently and he's trying to turn his life around. He was so excited about our new home.
Your boyfriend sells crack?
Sold, Richard, sold. He's a good man with a good heart. I swear this apartment was a lifeline for him. What are we supposed to do now? Wait, what's that? I could hear the police outside. What the hell, are they here for the neighbors?
Oh, the landlord must have checked the surveillance footage. He probably called the cops on you.
What?
Yep, I sent him a message. I'm sorry to bug you in the middle of the night like this, but I think my ex-wife might have just broken into one of your properties. Please don't hesitate to call the cops.
What gives you the right to do that?
What gives you the right to break into my fiancé's apartment? Breaking and entering is a crime, and crime is illegal. You're a criminal, and so was your boyfriend. Are you seriously gonna claim picking a lock and breaking into someone else's property isn't a crime? You don't have a leg to stand on. Of course, the cops are gonna come. How else could this have possibly ended?
It was supposed to be happily ever after. This can't be happening.
Good morning, Nancy. How are you doing, sweetie? I know Carla already messaged you, but just to confirm, your mom got taken away by the police last night. So it's safe to go back to the apartment. There's nothing to worry about. At least for now.
Got it. Thanks, Dad.
Even still, you must be pretty anxious about going back there all on your own.
Well, to tell you the truth, yes. Carla's been super kind by letting me crash on her couch, and I'm grateful for that. Really, I am. But the real estate people say that they'll have my room ready in about 2 weeks. I was wondering if there's anywhere I might be able to stay until then, just in case.
Yeah, about that. Carla has a 3-week business trip in New York, scheduled to start tomorrow. But she decided to advance her plans and is on the plane as we speak. She'll be landing at JFK soon and will be with you by this evening.
Really?
Even still, it's probably best you stay away from the apartment for now. It might still feel emotionally charged after everything that happened. She suggested you both stay at a business hotel until you can move into your new place. They usually have comfy beds, room service, and maybe even a spa. What do you think?
I think I like the sound of it. Wow, Carla's the best. I love her. She's like a fairy godmother who swooped in and saved the day.
Great. I'll message her with the news, letting her know you're on board with the hotel plan.
Thank you. I'm starting to think she's actually a goddess. I want her to be my mom.
She'll be overjoyed to hear that, sweetie. She absolutely adores you too.
Really?
Absolutely. Now, Carla will be landing at JFK within the next 10 minutes. So how about you two discuss the plan for New York over text while she makes her way to the apartment on the train? You can pick out the fanciest hotel you can find. My treat. Consider it a belated welcome present to the city.
Okay, I'll message her now. Thanks a bunch, Dad. You're the best too, you know?
Just as expected, my ex-wife's new boyfriend was the kind of person who's best not to associate with. I can't help but wonder what the hell must be wrong with her to keep picking guys like that, but it'll probably remain a mystery forever. Anyway, as you saw, the pair of them were arrested after being caught red-handed, breaking and entering in the middle of the night. It turns out her and Tyrone, the reformed crack dealer, were both serving a suspended sentence for a previous crime. And they'll be spending a lot of time behind bars real soon. I feel like I dodged a little bullet in divorcing her, and I count my lucky stars every day. Not long after the events of today's saga, me and Carla permanently moved our company to New York, where we also now live. Nancy still lives on her own and we want to respect her independence, but we're within walking distance now, and she can come home and hang out with us whenever she feels like it. Oh yeah, guess what? Me and Carla are tying the knot soon. Ever since that day, Nancy's been calling her mom, which put the biggest smile on her face. I'm looking forward to the rest of my life with my new family, and I've never been more optimistic about the future. Here's to us,